Journalism in the news.
And now, news.
Very fake news.
I see a lot of excellent journalism being done.
Give me the press.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
How can you ask a question when you don't know the press?
He said that journalists make up stories and make up sources.
As a journalist, I don't really like being the story here.
Very fake news.
And many of your compatriots had to change their reporting, and they had to apologize, and they had to correct.
This is a golden age of journalism in a lot of ways.
Mr. Biden, what flavor did you get?
News.
I felt a little bad yesterday about how much I was relishing in the news about Brian Stelter's ratings, because he was becoming like he got Wally pipped, basically, or he was the Wally Pip in the situation. He left on vacation and his fill-in got way better ratings than him. And then when he came back, the ratings just dipped even further. And so because of that, I'm going to let Brian Stelter redeem himself. Let's play a little bit of sound here. Let's see what he's up to. He's back. He's well rested. He spent 5 days and 5 nights in a beautiful resort, probably. I really don't know where he was, but I'm sure he found himself a TV and he watched Fox News for 24/7. I'm sure he watched it the entire time he was there. So let's see what he came back with. Cut 11.
But a lot of this has to do with the memory hole, right? The riot going down the memory hole. That's what Fox and right-wing media has been trying to do. And I worry that this may be another result of that.
Don't worry, Brian. Please don't worry. Don't spend your time worrying. He is obsessed with Fox. I told this to Howie yesterday. I said, oh, you went on vacation. And Howie said he just watches it the whole time he's on vacation. It's so sad, really. And then another thing I wanted to talk about as far as journalism goes, which I think you guys will enjoy. Vox put out an article about Ma'Khia Bryant. You guys might remember Ma'Khia. She was the teenage girl who came out of her house and was trying to stab another girl, and a police officer shot Ma'Khia and she died. Vox says the 16-year-old black girl could never be the perfect victim. When I saw that headline, I thought, nah, I'm going to click on it. You know what, Vox? You got me. I'm going to click on it. And I noticed something, and I'm going to read it first. Let's see if Jared picks up on it. There's 2 things I noticed in this little excerpt. According to these viewers, Nicholas Reardon, the police officer who immediately shot and killed Bryant, who was holding a knife, was justified. That she was a teenager in the middle of an altercation in which she was presumed to be defending herself did not matter. Now, Jared, does anything about that jump out at you?
Every noun and verb of that jumps out at
right?
me. Immediately. Well, the first one is immediately shot her. Immediately.
Yes.
Just immediately. Jumped out of the car, just pulled his gun, Dirty Harry styles, or Lethal Weapon sliding across the hood, just pop, pop. They said what? She was defending herself, I believe, they said, while holding a knife. Holding
a knife for me was the first one.
Yeah.
Holding a knife. Now, I'm still pretty new at this whole newspaper thing, but if that came across my desk, I would say, why don't we use the word wielding a knife? Because she, holding it, it's a little passive. And then the second part is that she was a teenager in the middle of an altercation. Again, just as someone, I'm going to pretend I'm the editor, I might say, let's change in the middle of an altercation to in the middle of trying to stab someone. It gives a little bit of specificity, It gives a little bit, you kind of set the scene, you give a little more context.
Police shootings explained by Vox.
Oh, and lastly, Nantucket Magazine and Magazine, they decided to pull Dave Portnoy. Or no, they kept the cover and then they apologized for it. And he said, I will continue to do my best to make Nantucket and America a better place while those who hate me continue to throw cry parties for themselves about how I made a joke they didn't like 20 years ago. Those are our journalists, crybabies galore. We'll be back on the other side. This is The Grace Curley Show.